r/AskReddit created by routinereddit. What's the worst way to break up with someone? Bottle it, marry them, then spend 30 plus years together. The American dream. Actually had an aunt spit on her husband's grave after 52 years of marriage. Turned out he beat her, and apparently even caused a miscarriage once, but she couldn't divorce because scandal. Oh, beat her. Okay, yeah, yikes. I clearly and really don't love you. He thought not even a quarter as much as I ought. I know I should tell you / I know I should say. I know I should save you and send you away. But breakups are horrid, he whispered with woe. And messy and awfully awkward, you know? They're painful, disdainful, and dreadful, he said. So let's stay together forever instead. And that, kids, is how I proposed to your mother. To be fair, most people don't choose to bottle it up, they just don't have the communication skills to address the problem. It never gets resolved in a satisfactory way because the other person doesn't even know what the heck is going on in your head. Communication skills. Or understanding themselves. I can think of quite a few people that had no idea what they wanted out of their relationships. Being told find someone that you love all out lives is really vague, doesn't really mean much. But that's on tangent. In any case, agreed, I believe that to be true too. Just also seen miscommunication be just as evidently the fault of both parties, and not just cause of a lack of clarity on one end of it. By not even communicating the breakup but still communicating with them, while slowly becoming less and less talkative until they finally figure out that the relationship is over in their own. It's slow torture. Just be honest and straightforward. Been there. Best friend did that to me until it got to the point where I was being straight up ghosted. 10 years of a friendship that was more important to me than anything else in the world. At first I would send a text every 2 to 3 days begging to have a conversation, then just for some sort of confirmation that she was listening, and we'd talk eventually. Then I decided I deserved better and told her that she was a horrible person and that was a horrible thing to do, and she was never to contact me ever again. Weeks later I found out from a mutual friend that she thought I was so unfair, and she was absolutely devastated because she did want to talk to me eventually. Stuck to my guns, moved on with my life, screw her. Literally going through that right now. Best friend of 10 plus years, been through so much together that I considered her family. It sucks because, like you said, we would talk eventually, making me think the friendship wasn't really over when I knew deep down she didn't want to have anything to do with me anymore. I decided that I don't want to play this stupid game anymore, and I've cut her out of my life. We deserve better than this. The time when this happened to me may have been the most excruciatingly painful time of my life, given that it lasted about a month and ended up with him finally calling to let me know he wanted us to be over. During that 1 month he only talked about what he was doing with his friends, what was up at his work, or what new stuff he was looking to buy for his home, but he didn't want to talk about us or me anymore. He never said it, but retrospectively it's obvious that I didn't belong in his life anymore. It hurt so much because I was so in love and couldn't let go. It was the start of a new year at university and I was barely functioning. Honestly, I'm still haunted by the memory of that 1 month and by the words and feels of our last conversation ever. It'll be 3 years next month. Been there. In my case, she posted a pic of her with new friend while we were still dating. And this crap happened twice to me. People can be so heartless sometimes. You're the same. Except you'd kept up the regular texts, chatting, etc. But could never hang out outside of work. I know. Poop where you eat. Thanksgiving weekend has asking me about plans, initiating conversation. I see on his story he's at some girl's house who I assume is a family friend as he's relatively new to the area and said he was spending it with family. Fast forward to New Year's, talking less and less, but still chatting outside of work and hanging put very occasionally, and I see pics of he and the same girl on a weekend away on FB. So cringy in hindsight that I didn't get it together sooner. So not only slow ghosted, but also been seeing each other since October. Super fun to go to work, where our relationship was under wraps, to hear everyone asking about his new GF and blah blah blah, since they were FB official. Big yikes. Oh well. My college roommate spent an entire weekend with his girlfriend from another state knowing he was going to break up with her. When he took her to drop off at the train station on Sunday, he waited until she was leaning in with the car door open to kiss him goodbye. Broke the news instead of kissing her, didn't even unbuckle and get out. She stood there stunned with bags on the curb and he closed the door and drove off. I thought that was pretty crappy. I don't know why this stuff still shocks me. People murder each other, and I'm shocked at mean breakups. Dumping over text is mean. This is just evil. Some just take joy in ruining others. I got dumped over text after a 2-year relationship, then blocked on everything from Snapchat to Steam. I thought that was cruel. Reading these stories on here make me think what happened to me what pretty mild. Hey, happened to me too. I also got dumped over text this month after a 2-year relationship. It has been 3 weeks, but I'm still shocked that he did it over text and that I wasn't worth the face-to-face breakup talk. But after reading these stories here, my first thought was that how my ex broke up with me wasn't that bad. Being dumped over text is still one of the worst generic ways to be dumped emo, along with being ghosted, which is how I was dumped the second time. I learned that if someone dumps you over text, you can do better than them. I found out my ex and I weren't together after he posted an Instagram picture with his best friend of 3 years saying it only took me 3 years to ask her out. Oof. I'm so sorry. Geez, this sounds eerily similar to what happened to my girlfriend's brother. His common law wife out of nowhere said she didn't love him anymore. Later on that day, a mutual friend of his sent him a pic from Facebook of her and the guy that she was dating behind his back, that the guy posed saying that said after being on and off for 4 years, she was finally permanently his. Brutal. Edit. She didn't love him anymore. Common law marriage is whereas you have a relationship with a significant other that one has lived with for a certain amount of time, where they say they are married without a marriage license. Permanently his. Woman is a pre-established cheater. Lol, good luck with that. I literally dodged such a person due to this fact. Person was the greatest, very cool, very legal, very sexy, very interested in me, but was already in an established long-term relationship, and even if she wanted to switch, probably genuinely, she tried for 2 years. I thought of it as a complete deal breaker. I would never ever be able to trust her long term. So she found her way back to her partner, and now they live happily. But I have this feeling she has a side dude or two. Very legal. Yeah, can we rewind a seconds? 18 and a half. Take them to any restaurant that sells onion rings. Order said rings. Upon arrival, say, yeah, we had onion rings. Leave them the check. Edit. Thank you to everyone, of course. I highly suggest anyone who doesn't recognize it to go check out Game Grumps, where I shamelessly stole the joke from. Leave the check, take the onion rings. That brilliant line was ad-libbed. Instructions unclear. They thought the rings were a weird proposal. That's how Homer proposed to Marge. Would you mind if I took it off now? The oil is burning my finger. Mission failed. Accidentally got engaged. Edit. Real talk though, if I get her, so I want to propose with a donut or onion ring. HMM. Probably either on the second day of a 7-day trip or on the second hour of a 9-hour freaking bus ride where you still have to be within 10 feet of each other for the rest of the dang trip. Not that I'm bitter or anything. Yeah, second day of a 7-day trip happened to me. Totally sucked. Was this like a school trip or something? I can't imagine adults doing this to each other. Being trapped on a trip with your ex on either end would be terrible. I was at a camping thing a few weeks ago and it was pretty dark, so I didn't see, but I heard the fallout of a relationship and the girl was like, I came all the way up this mountain to be with you this weekend, and I hear this? She had a couple days stuck on the mountain with a relationship that was over due to a bad decision by the guy. There's just something about camping that brings out the best of us. LMAO. I just came back from a camping trip where I was third wheeling with my friend and her boyfriend of 2 years. They argued the whole time and finally she broke up with him. I acted as mediator just so they'd stop fighting and making it awkward for me, and apparently I got them back together. Disappointed face. Over text, right after they tell you they have cancer. I don't want to get cancer from you, sorry. But, baby, we'll play it safe. We can use protection. I guess we have to leave our emo phase, then. I mean, they do make black condoms. By notarized letter. But what if the person you want to break up with is your notary? You cheat on the notary with a new notary. Double whammy. Guys are all the same. They all just want the stamp.